y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of She Sound Off podcast and YouTube channel. Of course, I'm your girl Keita, and I want to give a shout out to my Anchor FM, my Spotify, my Android, and Apple podcast family. I just recently went on to my Anchor FM app to check it out. Something told me to check it out because I haven't been doing my podcast on there. I've just been focusing on my YouTube channel, and so I've been getting some love over that department. I've been getting some love, so I'm really thankful for that. And I want to shout you guys out for those who have stayed committed and listened to my podcast on those channels, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Android Podcasts, on Anchor FM, on Castbox, and all those all of those podcast channels. I love you guys so much. Thank you. As a matter of fact, because of this fact, I will be producing my podcast back on those channels. So I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me and still listening to my podcast on there, as well as my my audio listeners. You can check out my YouTube channel, She Sound Off podcast, on YouTube, and you can put a face to the voice. And then on my YouTube listeners, if you go to Anchor FM, if you got Android or Apple, that literally be the easiest way. You can download the podcast app and you can listen to past episodes, because again, I must stress that the growth is real as fuck. The growth is real as fuck. So you will see, one thing that I want to point out is that, when I first started podcasting, I was so nervous, y'all. I was so nervous. And, I did it anyway. I did it in my nervousness. I did it in my fear. And, when you listen to those older episodes, you will see my fear. You will see it come through loud as hell. But you know what? I always talk about sometimes you have, not sometimes, always, you have to step into your fears and do something even when it's imperfect, because it's your imperfections that make you perfect anyway. So, had to drop that little jewel on your asses. Anyway, so I want to get into this episode. I want to talk about asked out expectations. So we're going to sound off to asked out expectations. Asked out expectations. So recently I noticed that I've been seeing different posts on my social media networks. I've been, hearing people talk about, support here, friends and family support, people not showing enough love to others, or, feeling like you're giving and not receiving, getting the ass end of the deal when you show so much support, love, and you give and give and give so many areas and so many pieces of yourself. You feel like you're being asked out. So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about that lately, and it prompts me to have a deep thought about it. Anytime, I hear something that strikes my attention so much, I always go into deep thought about it, because that's just how a bitch is these days, okay? I be deep. I be going deep, okay? That's that spirituality shit. Have me thinking on a whole nother level. Nothing is surface level anymore. Like, I don't think on the surface level. Some things I do, and that's why the more spiritually I grow, the quieter I am about certain things. I remember in my 20s, I was very vocal about everything. Like, growing up, I was always told that I talk too much. I was always told to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I'm so used to, growing up, or I've heard often growing up, is that I got a lot of mouth. And I did. I had a lot of mouth. I didn't have enough mouth to get me into a lot of trouble, like with other people. It was just like my family, And this is kind of like a off the topic moment right here. My daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, I see a lot of me and her with that, because she have a lot to say, baby. And I try so hard not to shut her down, because I remember how it felt. Because I was so in tune with listening to what people had to say that I would always have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, nowadays, because I'm growing so high in my spirituality that, I listen more and I think more rather than talk. Before I have an opinion and before I say anything, I like to dwell on it mentally, because it has to, what comes out of my mouth has to make sense now. It has to make sense now. And because I want my message to reach dozens across the world, I have to be careful on what I say and how I say things, because a lot of things can be taken out of context. So, back to the topic. I've been hearing and noticing that a lot of people are feeling this way. Y'all, my mouth is really dry. I don't know why my mouth is dry. My root chakra is overly active. I mean, not my root chakra, my throat chakra. It's overly active. That means a bitch been talking too much. I've been talking too much. Anyway, we gonna get that under control. I'm gonna do some throat chakra meditations this whole week, and I'm gonna get that throat chakra back balanced. Okay, I'm gonna open her up. I don't want an overactive throat chakra or under. I want her to be right in the middle. Anyway, so people been talking about that. The nicest people, get the least love, or, giving yourself and you're not getting nothing back, like you're giving too much of yourself, and, people get tired, like nice people get tired of giving so much, and just, a lot of emotions tied into, being a given person, a lot of feelings tied to a given person, or being a given person and not getting anything in return. So that's what I wanted to talk about, asked out expectations. So I think that what we're experiencing when we're experiencing that, because I too felt like that before. I felt like I'm giving so much of me, and I'm not getting anything back in return. And if I do, it's not even a morsel of what I gave. And I got to a point where I started saying, like, I'm gonna be selfish, and I'm gonna start being like everybody else. I'm gonna start being selfish. Well, the thing of that is, it's not in my nature to be that way. I wasn't born that way. That's not my mission on this earth. My mission is to be a given person. And I feel like a lot of times people that are giving like that, or that open themselves up so much as a giver, I feel like a lot of those people are like highly sensitive and empaths. I'm not sure about that. I haven't did any study. I don't know numbers, but this is just what my spirit says. 80% of what's gonna come out of my mouth is through spirit, y'all. So I'm not a numbers girl, so don't expect that. But yeah, I think that they are highly sensitive, because me, for an example, I am an empath. And so I feel all the time, every time. It doesn't matter who, what, where, why. I'm always feeling other people's emotions, and not just feel them. I physically feel them. I feel them inside. And it's hard not to be giving. Even when you know a person ain't worth shit to give to, and even when you know the person, will not give it back to you in return, for me, it's not my business to try to understand why they are the way they are, or to prejudge them about being the way that they are, or to even, care for the matter. My mission on this earth is a given, and I can't, if I'm going to worry about other people and how they are, then I'm not going to be able to complete my mission on this earth, right? But when other people talk about asked out expectations, or just expectations in general, and they feel like they're asked out, I can definitely understand, and I can definitely get behind that feeling, that emotion tied to that. And it's more so of a trigger. And so why are you triggered by this? I know personally me, I feel like at one point in my life, I was a doormat for people to walk all over. And a lot of people that has come in and out of my life has said that about me, that, you know, very naive type of thinking, very naive type of person, because I can give you the shirt off my back and be freezing and still be like, no, you keep it. You know what I mean? And not expect for you to do anything for me. So it's like, that's just the nature of who I am. That's just the nature of how I am. And then after a while, after doing that so much, it created triggers inside of me, because there was times when I needed help. Now, I want to be clear to say this. Everybody didn't do that to me. Everybody wasn't that way towards me. And I feel like a lot of those people didn't even realize that they were like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people who are like that don't even realize that, you know, they are takers. They're takers. A lot of people are like narcissists. People are selfish. People have been traumatized in a way where they don't trust, or, you know, there's so many factors that wraps around why a person is that way. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they create triggers from other people and make them, you know, givers. They feel like, you know, I don't want to give anymore because I've given so much. And it's I'm not getting anything in return. You know what I'm saying? And so that'll create a trigger, especially when you do shit like you give your last. You know, when you give your last and then you're in need of something, and you can't find nobody around you to help you. I can definitely get behind a person feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, through my spiritual growth, and as I'm going along in my journey, and as I'm confronting different areas in my life, I've learned that a huge part of why I felt like that was because I was very judgmental. And I know this is probably not going to strike a lot of people, you know, the right way when I say that, but I was very judgmental. I would give with an expectation, and I would judge people off of how they were in that way. So if a person, if I can give you a ride somewhere, right? And my car broke down, and I call that exact person to get a ride, and they can't do it for whatever reason, whether they don't feel like it, whether they are busy, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the reason is, and they can't do it, I would judge them and say, you know, ooh, you know, I'm sick of fucking helping people and being there for people, and they're not there for me. And this person, I've done this and that and this for them, and I've always been there for them, and I've helped them do this, that, and the fifth. Like, you know, I would always judge them. They probably ain't doing shit. You know, it ain't important. I drop everything that I do for this person, and I did do this and that for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was doing. I was judging people. And what I come to find out, again, through my spiritual growth, that rather than to judge a person for being the way they am, accepting them for who they are and how they am, I'm tripping. Accept them for who they are and how they are. What that'll do for you is that'll minimize expectations. That'll minimize your response to them, and your mental response and your like physical response to them when they can't come through like you come through for them. I hope I'm making sense. It sounded better in my head. But anyway, I must carry on. So once I stopped expecting things from people and expecting people to give me the same energy that I put out, two things happened. The first thing that I noticed started happening is I started accepting people for exactly who they were, right? If I call up somebody to be there for me for whatever reason and they can't do it, first thing I would think is like, okay, maybe they're really busy, or maybe they just don't fucking feel like it. They're not entitled to do anything for me. People are not fucking entitled to do anything for you. They are not entitled, right? Even if you pay them, people are not required to do something for you. So if you can get that out of your head, then you will sleep way better at night, and you'll be able to retain friends. You'll be able to retain people in your life, rather than to cut them off because they're undependent and you can't depend on them. The thing of it is, if a person that that's in your life, you can't depend on them to do certain things, why do you ask them? Why do you have such high expectations of them? So, I noticed that went away. And then the second thing that I realized is, rather than accepting people for who they are, I started feeling better within myself to say, okay, it kept me from lowering my vibration because I would get disappointed and it stopped becoming a trigger for me. Being there for people and them not giving it in return or returning my energy, when I stopped expecting that, I started living better, feeling better, sleeping better. I look at a person, I be like, well, you quick to ask me for some shit, but when I ask you, the answer is always no, or I can't, or whatever. So when you ask me for something, I'm gonna give you as much energy as I can spare at the moment. I'm not gonna run through hoops, jump through hoops. I'm not gonna make great sacrifices because my energy is super important to me. I'm giving my energy, but I also have to preserve it, so I have to get some back. So I'm not going to just step out on a limb and just be there like Johnny on the spot for people who are not like that. But I don't love you any less. I don't judge you for being like that. If I have enough energy to spare, time, money, if I'm emotionally, mentally in a good place, then I got you. But I'm not going to make sacrifices and go out of my way for people who won't give it in return, because guess what? My expectations for you are fucking low. I don't expect anything from you, okay? So now I don't feel bad. I used to always feel bad when I have to say no to people. That's another part of self-love that we hear so much about. Loving yourself is saying no as much as you need to say it. As much as you need to say it. So, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel better because I've stood my ground, but at the same time, I don't judge a person just for who, because they are the way they are. I say, okay, I can't depend on this person, but I still love you. I have unconditional love always for you. And when I can, I will do it for you. Right? So the expectations of people go down. Giving myself incomplete to everybody, giving yourself incomplete to everybody is unhealthy. You have to have a balance when you're giving, when you're a giving nature. I know it's hard, to be that way, because I had to learn that not everyone is worth giving your all to. You have to find the people who will appreciate you. And when I say appreciate, I mean someone who can return the energy. So a long time ago, years back, me and my best friends was talking about, think of exchanging, think of relationships and exchange within a relationship as bank accounts. If someone is steady taking out of your bank account and not depositing, make a deposit, they're only making withdrawals, then you're going to look up and your bank account's going to be empty. That's how you look at your energy in terms of giving it to people. And I don't care who it is. I mean, everyone get this treatment, down to my mother, my kids, everybody get the same treatment. If I feel like I'm giving too much, then I need to pull it back a little bit, and I need to I need you to give me some. Now, the difference on now how I move and how I moved back then was I don't have any expectations of people. So you cannot disappoint me when you say no, or you can't disappoint me when I don't see that you're supporting my brand and my business. You can't disappoint me because I don't expect you to say yes. I don't expect you to support me. I don't expect you to be there for me. When you do, I love you for it. But you're not going to take away from my energy because you're not the person, you're not you're not giving me what I give out. You're not taking away from my energy. So I think, what you need to start doing is, if you find yourself feeling like, I don't get the support from my family and friends that I put out, my people, I'm always there for other people, and nobody is ever there for me. I always give love, and I don't feel like I'm getting it in return. I'm always getting the shitty end of the stick when it comes down to my relationships. You have to balance that shit and put it all into perspective in such a way to say, I'm a giving person, it's in my nature, and I'm going to always give. But what I have to do is preserve myself. How do you preserve yourself? You take a look at the people that surround you. And you say, okay, I have this person, this person, this person. Put them in categories if you have to, because I did. I put everybody in categories. So I'm like, okay, this person has always been there for me. This person has supported me since day one. This person always give, even when I don't give to them, they give to me. This person is always have my back. This person is very undependable. Undependable. I hope I'm saying that right. This person is very undependable. This person has never come through in the clutch. This person, I can count on them, but there's always some shit tied to it. You have to put people in categories. After you put them in categories, you should decide, because your energy, you manage that shit. It's like your bank account. You manage your money, and you're fucking over your money just like you're fucking over your energy. You have to manage it and think of it as, these are your lifelines. This energy is your lifeline. And if you keep investing your energy into people who cannot give any back to you, then you're going to die. Like, sometimes you have to think of your energy like that, because it's so important. For the people who have given, give them back in return. You can't let the decision of one or two people change the nature of who you are. You cannot let that happen. You have to give no matter what. You have to have unconditional love, because if you weren't born and built like that in the first place, you wouldn't be like that. I know so many fucking selfish people out in the world. And I also know people who do things just to get something back. And I know people who do things just to boost their ego and say, I did this for this person and I done that for that person. You know what I mean? I know so many people out there like that. And I know how to treat them. There's a saying, treat this person from a distance, that person from a distance. You don't never have to treat someone from a distance, because that person, you don't know what a person is going through. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know. So to count a person out just because they are a certain type of way, it's not really good. I don't rock with that. You have to treat people accordingly. And one really, really, really important factor is, if this is a friend or a family member, reach out to that person and have a conversation. Have that uncomfortable conversation with that person and say, hey, I feel A, B, and C, and I'm not getting this in return. Or, we have to start having these really much needed but uncomfortable conversations with each other, so that we can stay in unity. Cut off season, and I'm gonna cut this person off, and this person, da 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 da. Before you make that choice, you need to have a conversation with these people and try to understand why. Why do I feel like I'm giving more than I'm getting? Earlier, I said that sometimes they don't even fucking know they're doing it. If you are born selfish, if you are born and then raised to be a selfish person, or you're a Virgo, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Virgos. I'm just kidding, Virgos. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't attack me. Don't attack me, Virgos. Don't attack me, Virgos. But I love me some Virgos. My sister is a Virgo. Anyway, but if you are just a person that's selfish in general, or self-absorbed or whatever it is, whatever. You don't even know that you're being that way. Like, they don't even know that they are being that way. That's just how they are. And once you have that conversation, you don't know how that'll change the trajectory. I can never say, I always want to say that word when I'm talking, but I can never say it right. Trajectory of your relationship. And you know, it's important to get those emotions out. A lot of times we hold emotions in from people for nothing, and they don't even realize that they are doing this to us. You know, that was one of my things. That was one of my things I had going on. Like, people didn't even, the people that I had to have these conversations with, they didn't even know that they were doing it. They were just doing them. You know what I'm saying? And so after having that uncomfortable conversation, they learned how I was feeling, and it changed. You know what I'm saying? So have those uncomfortable conversations, but most importantly, stop with the fucking expectations. Stop expecting people to give you the energy that you give out. It's not going to happen. You are a special breed of individuals who are a giving soul. You give. You shouldn't feel bad about that. And you shouldn't minimize who you are because you feel like you're not getting it in return. Because if you wasn't getting a return to that extent, then you would really stop being that way. Like, I know me personally, I wasn't given to, you know, because mostly it's like friends and family, but people give you energy back in return. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're looking for it in the wrong places, but stop expecting so much out of people and yourself out of people. You treat a person how you want to be treated, and if they don't give that back in return, then that's okay. I still love you. Now I know how to deal with you and treat you. But you will no longer be a trigger in my life. This will no longer affect me mentally. I will no longer set a certain a minimum type of standard of, you know, how I give out my energy because you hurt me, because right where you stand, someone else can stand in that place and replenish the energy that I put out into the universe. Right? So that's very important. Ask out expectations. When you expect something from someone, you make an ass out of yourself because you get upset and you get judgmental and you all these emotions flare up because you expected that person to act, to do, or to be a certain type of way. I feel so free now because I give and I do without expectation. And what happens is, when I get it back, it feels so much better because I don't, and it's not even a negative or a positive aspect. It's just like, I'm putting it out there. And if it's reciprocated, good. If it's not, good. You know, I have a person in my life that, you know, I love so much, but they don't really give too much. So, you know, they called me the other day, and this is an example. So they called me the other day and they asked me for something. And, you know, at the time I had it, so I gave it to them. And I didn't expect it back. I didn't expect for them to do nothing, but I had it to give at that moment. But then, you know, on another hand, I had something, I had another friend call me who's always there for me, and I can always count on them. And they asked me for something. I didn't really have it, so I made a sacrifice for them. And if they pay me back, good. If they don't, good. But I know this person. I know their character. So I know that they're going to give it back in return. I would rather sacrifice that from a person who I know have my best interest or is a giving soul. I would rather sacrifice for that type of person. But for the other type of person, you know, I'll give it if I can, because if it's not returned, it's not minusing anything from my life. Y'all get what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? Stop expecting shit from people. All right? You will live much better. You'll feel much better. All right? So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you again to my podcast listeners, you guys. I'm gonna give back to you. I'm so excited that I didn't even, do y'all know it's been months since I've been on my audio podcast channel. It's been a minute. And so it was it was really delightful. It fuck delightful. Like, I was happy as hell when I saw, that people are still listening to me on my audio podcast. So that's what's up. That was kind of like the highlight of my day today. And I got a notification on my phone about it. So it was really unexpected. So another way the universe is telling me to keep going, Keita. The universe sent these clues, y'all. Universe in these clues and these cute little reminders to keep going and to keep smiling and to keep pushing no matter what. And that was one of those beautiful little clues that the universe gives me. And I'm patient more these days, and so I think my patience is starting to pay off a lot. So anyway, that's all I have, you guys. Thank you so much. If you have anything for me, you can always hit me up. You can email me at I'm sorry, I forgot my email. soundoffminnesota@gmail.com. You can always email me. And if you are a podcast listener, y'all check out my social media. Check out Sound Off MN on IG and Sound Off MN on Facebook as well. And you guys, if you are watching my podcast, check out the bitch growth. Check out your girl growth. I have grown tremendously and I'm really proud of it. And I want you to see it. I want you to see the thing about it. The reason I want you to understand growth, because a lot of people that listen to my podcast, from what I believe, is people who are in that transition stage like I'm in, that growing stage. And with growing stage is growing pains. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important for you to always go back and look at your growth. That's really important. Look how far you've come. Look how much you've accomplished. That is really important to growth, okay? So I'm going to get on out of here. Y'all make sure y'all be kinder to yourself. Love yourself more than anything. Alignment is everything. And always remember that self-preservation is the first law of nature. You have to always love yourself first, no matter what. No matter what, okay? Till next time, I love you. Bye.